If you were online the night that clip first surfaced, you probably remember the silence right before the chaos. A silence where millions of fans paused mid-scroll, squinted at their screens, and whispered the same thing: "What is Jimin doing?" It took only 7 seconds of confusing, strangely tender, strangely intense, undeniably weird behavior toward Jungkook, for the entire K-pop fandom to ignite. And nobody could have predicted how far that spark would spread. At first glance, the moment seemed simple: Jimin leaning closer than usual, Jungkook laughing in a way no one could quite interpret, and a subtle expression flickering across Jimin's face like he was caught between teasing and revealing something deeper. But the energy was unmistakable. It felt like stumbling upon a behind-the-scenes BTS moment not meant for the camera. And that, of course, is exactly why the internet lost its mind. The clip circulated across every corner of social media. Fans replayed it, slowed it down, zoomed in, added captions, and debated endlessly in the comments. Was Jimin being playful? Protective? Jealous? Mischievous? Emotional? Or was it something entirely different, something the fandom had never seen before? Nobody could agree on anything, except one thing: something about it didn't feel ordinary. But to understand why this small weird moment struck so deeply, you have to go back before the cameras, before the viral edits, back to the earliest days when BTS were still learning who they were and who they could be with each other. Jimin and Jungkook's dynamic had always been intriguing. Fans loved how their personalities contrasted: Jungkook with his quiet intensity and unstoppable confidence, and Jimin with his warmth, precision, and emotional sensitivity. Over the years, their interactions felt like an ever-evolving story, sometimes playful like siblings, sometimes competitive like rivals, sometimes unexpectedly intimate, revealing layers no one expected. In the world of K-pop, where every gesture gets magnified under the spotlight, their chemistry naturally drew attention, but this time, something was different. As the clip continued spreading, fans began digging up older footage, past concerts, practice room logs, interviews, live streams. They found moments that seemed to echo the same peculiar energy: Jimin's lingering glances, Jungkook's shy smiles, that wordless understanding that flickered between them at unpredictable times. Suddenly, a pattern began forming. Not a scandalous one, not something sensational, but something quietly human. Something real. And that's when the conversation shifted. The question stopped being, "Why is Jimin acting weird?" and instead became, "What does this moment tell us about the pressure these artists live under?" Because when you look closely, when you strip away the edits and theories and trending hashtags, what you see is something far more relatable: two young men who grew up together under extraordinary circumstances. Two people navigating fame, growth, and identity in front of millions. Two friends whose bond evolved in ways cameras could capture but never fully explain. The fandom didn't expect that twist. A clip meant to shock became a catalyst for deeper reflection. Creators started making thoughtful breakdowns. Fans posted heartfelt comments about friendship, vulnerability, and the unseen emotional weight carried by idols. Even those who weren't part of the BTS army found themselves drawn in by the story, not because it was mysterious or dramatic, but because it was human. Still, the fascination didn't fade. If anything, it intensified. Every new interaction between Jimin and Jungkook, no matter how small, felt charged with meaning. A shared smile during a rehearsal. A joke whispered between takes. A supportive gesture on stage. Fans watched closely, not with invasive curiosity, but with genuine affection, hoping to decode the unspoken language these two seemed to share. And then came the moment that changed everything, the powerful twist no one expected. Weeks after the clip went viral, BTS appeared in a behind-the-scenes documentary segment. Cameras followed them during a late-night rehearsal. Everyone looked tired, drained from the long preparation schedule. But then, without warning, Jimin walked over to Jungkook and quietly placed a hand on his shoulder, offering a few soft words the mic barely picked up. Jungkook's expression shifted, from exhaustion to gratitude to something undeniably emotional, and then Jimin said, clearly enough for viewers to hear, "I know it's been tough. I'm here. Don't forget that." The moment lasted less than 10 seconds, but it hit harder than any dramatic clip ever could. Fans worldwide froze, rewatched, and felt the weight of it settle into their hearts. Suddenly the weird behavior made sense, not as something mysterious, but as the visible outline of a bond forged through years of shared struggle and triumph. A bond that doesn't always translate neatly into camera-ready moments. A bond real enough to be misunderstood. The narrative shifted completely. The confusion became compassion, the drama became depth, the fascination became admiration. Instead of triggering chaos, Jimin's weird behavior now felt like the natural expression of someone who cared deeply, someone who, even under the pressure of K-pop stardom, refused to hide his sincerity. And just like that, the fandom's attention transformed from speculation to appreciation. Not just for these two members, but for the entire group and the way their stories intertwine, because that's the real magic of BTS, not the rumors, not the theories, not the viral clips, but the human connection that persists no matter how bright the spotlight gets. And maybe that's why this story continues to spread. Not because it's shocking or scandalous, but because it taps into something we all recognize: the strange, beautiful, complicated ways people show they care. So if you've ever watched one of those fleeting behind-the-scenes moments and wondered what it meant, maybe the answer is simpler than it seems. Maybe it's just humanity peeking through the perfect choreography. Maybe it's just friendship refusing to stay hidden. And if that resonates with you, if you found yourself drawn into this deeper, more meaningful side of the story, then don't stop here. There are countless stories behind the music, behind the cameras, behind the viral moments we think we understand. Stories worth exploring, stories worth sharing, stories worth staying for.